Hello everybody on YouTube, this is Super Nintendo, and welcome to my conclusion video on whether or not GT is actually as bad as people make it out to be. Last time we talked about Season 1 and a little bit of Season 2 because I wanted to finish up the baby arc because I hate leaving storylines just there. And also, don't mind my backpack there. I had that on my rolly chair before I began, but yeah. This video is going to talk about the rest of GT minus the movie because I'm lazy and I didn't want to watch the movie this time. I may give the movie its own video, but or I might just record it at a later time and just slap it on the end of this one. So yeah. Today we are gonna begin from the Super 17 arc and finish through the rest of GT pretty much. So, just like last time, for those who missed it, these videos are about narrative problems to deduce whether or not GT is actually as bad as people say they are. This will include problems big and small, and like pacing and stuff, if pacing is such an issue. Now, I'm a very impatient person, so if I feel like things are going too slow or too fast, that's where I consider it an issue. If it can hold my attention, it should be able to hold yours. So, without further ado, let's begin. Trunks was scuffed up from a car crash. Trunks was then three-shotted by... Oh, this one, this second part is actually not an issue because in the Japanese version it took them quite a while to confirm that 17 in GT actually did get stronger. So this second part actually is not an issue. The first sin in the Season 2 is that Trunks got scuffed up by a car crash. Android 19, who is brought back because of the disturbance of hell and heaven, or hell and the living universe, basically because of the two 17s, was destroyed by two energy blasts when he has the ability to absorb them and become stronger. This was like a minor point, but I thought it was still worth bringing up. That one is not an issue. That is actually one of the good points, which I will bring up at the end. This one's not a narrative problem, but more of a problem with art. Like, the characters were not drawn properly. In the episode where Goku fights Cell and Frieza, who, while in Hell, many of the characters were not drawn right in that episode. Cell, General Rildo, yeah, it's just a mess. So yeah, not a narrative problem, but, you know. Okay, this one can be seen as a narrative problem, and since I included the Goku can breathe in space problem last time, I'm gonna include it here. This can be seen as a narrative problem. Cell outright absorbs Goku, but Goku just climbed out of Cell. Like, it was nothing. I personally don't mind it because Cell has never shown being able to perfectly absorb somebody who is significantly stronger than he is. Cell did become stronger since his death at some point, but he and Frieza both powered up. Goku powered up in his base. It scared the shit out of Cell and Frieza. So this implies that even base form Goku is significantly stronger than Cell and Frieza. So this can be seen as a narrative problem, but personally I don't mind it. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, that's a positive. Another positive. Okay, here's an actual negative. Goku took, in his fight with Super 17, took way too damn long to realize that Super 17 was just absorbing his energy to get stronger. Also, I really question the... This isn't this isn't a narrative problem, but more of a problem on, like, character design. Why does he have the energy absorbing things in his hands if he absorbs energy by just going like this and tanking the blast? That never made sense to me. I can kind of understand why Super Saiyan 4 would be slower to get that the energy absorption thing, but he spent most of this fight in his base and Super Saiyan 1 forms. The reason why I kind of understand Super Saiyan 4 is Super Saiyan 4 has a hard time listening to reason and coming up with strategies. Super Saiyan 4 is very much a primal form. So, if it was just Super Saiyan 4 making these arrogant-ass mistakes, I would kind of buy it more. But Super Saiyan 1 and base, I don't think so. After realizing Super 17 absorbs energy, Goku, for no reason, because there's no reason ever given in the English or Japanese versions, after knowing that 17 absorbs energy, proceeds to fire a 10 times Kamehameha directly into him, and just like, oh, look at that, it made him stronger. Oh yeah, I already knew that. Why the fuck did I do that? I don't know, that's really stupid. Okay, this one is kind of a nerdy... This one's kind of a nerdy problem, because this is never stated in the anime, and I think it may not be stated in the manga, but it is stated in the official guides. Super 17 is outright stated in the series to absorb ki. Ki. But Android 18 shoots energy blasts at him. But for those who don't know, Androids 16, normal 17, and 18 don't use ki. They use photons. They have photon generators in their bodies to mimic ki. They don't have ki, they mimic ki. They don't fly using the Bukujutsu technique like Goku and the other characters do. They fly using anti-gravity devices built into their bodies. And to those who want to tell me that Android 18 became human, no, she didn't. Learn your fucking Dragon Ball. So like I said, the Android 18 does not use energy, but her photon blasts are basically still being absorbed by Super 17, and I find this weird because it's never outright said that he can absorb other types of blasts. It's only stated he can absorb ki blasts. So this is kind of a weird one. Like I said, kind of a super nerdy nitpick, but a problem nonetheless. After seeing the Dragon Balls are cracked, nobody thinks to just, go to Namek and use their Dragon Balls rather than risk using broken Dragon Balls? That was stupid. Apparently the Shadow Dragons have existed before on another planet and destroyed the entire galaxy of that planet where that planet existed. But nobody thought to inform this to Goku and the others. Elder Kai in Dragon Ball Z did warn them, hey, don't overuse the Dragon Balls. But apparently this information about a galaxy being destroyed by Shadow Dragons sometime in the past is known by Dende. Why the fuck didn't he ever inform Goku and the others, hey, if you overuse the Dragon Balls, this shit can happen? What the hell, Dende? What the hell? Nobody thinks to help Goku fight the other Shadow Dragons so they can quickly and effectively hunt them down. In fact, after this isn't a problem on GT, but this is more of a problem of the internal continuity of Dragon Ball as a whole. Why the hell hasn't Bulma made multiple Dragon Radars? Like, that's kind of stupid on her part. In the Japanese version, there is no explanation as to why Goku runs away from Nova in their first encounter, as long as he does. In the dub, there is a line that makes this somewhat believable. Goku in the dub outright says he is hungrier than he's ever been. He is out of power as a result, so he cannot fight Nova. So it makes sense for him to run the fuck away. And then he just powers through his hunger. Pretty much. Kind of making the dub Goku in that scene, in there, seem more impressive. Because he's fighting Nova, Ice, and Sin, as well as Omega, without power. Because he's like that fucking hungry. But like I said, in the sub, there is no explanation. So sin it I shall. Alright, this one is kind of weird. The explanation for why Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 separates. The explanation Goku gives in both the dub and the sub is that Super Saiyan 4 uses so much power that they can't even last for 10 minutes. Bullshit, because you spent 2 fucking weeks as Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 does not have that bad of an energy drain if you can last for 2 fucking weeks. Granted, it's probably worse than Super Saiyan 2, but nowhere near as bad as Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 is so bad that a Metamorian fusion between like a Super Saiyan 3 cannot even last for can only last for 5 minutes. Assuming that they're talking 5 minutes, this would mean that the energy drain of Super Saiyan 3 is on the same level as the energy drain for Super Saiyan 4 is on the same level as Super Saiyan 3. And that's fucking bullshit. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all the narrative problems of Dragon Ball GT Season 2. Yeah, like, GT really is not that bad, narratively speaking. And, like, you heard me go through my whole list and like, oh, that's a good thing, that's a good thing, that's a good thing. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of good shit in Season 2, as well as in Season 1. Let me go up to the top of my list so I can give you guys the goodliness. Here's the first good thing that I saw. Goku rides on a Destructo Disc fired by Frieza and breaks off a few Hell Spikes and swings it around like the Power Pole to kind of mimic and be a reference to classic Dragon Ball. That was fucking great. Oh, seeing Android 18 go ballistic on Hellfighter 17 for killing Krillin was fucking awesome. Like, Android 18 in GT Android 18 in general is one of my favorite characters after she kind of gets with Krillin, because like she has so many good fucking moments, like just as a wife, as like a family member. It's great. And like even the fact that there is no blood on Krillin's dead corpse as an old man doesn't bother me. Well, okay, it bothers me a little bit, but it doesn't bother me as much as, say, the no blood in Dragon Ball Super, because Dragon Ball GT has the characters bleeding all the time. And with old man Krillin dying there with no blood, it's somehow even more haunting, because he's the only corpse that is like this. So, yeah. Okay. Something I really like about the fight between Goku and Super 17 is they use the whole fucking planet as their battle ring. They repeatedly punch each other and knock each other to different parts of the globe. And, like, yeah, like, for one point they're fighting in a city, the next they're fighting in a jungle, the next they're fighting in the Arctic fucking tundra. You never know where this fight's gonna lead next. And that's good shit. That is really good. Seeing Chi-Chi and Videl going off to try to fight 17 and Mew was great. We even get to see the Great Saiyan Woman outfit for Videl again. There's a little bit of a bullshit line that says it's the same exact outfit and it still fits her, to which I call bullshit because you're like twice as tall as you used to be. But I don't care. That's a fan service I can get behind. And my phone's about to die. Another good thing I like is the sense of continuity that Dragon Ball GT has. It not only connects with Dragon Ball Z in a very meaningful way, if you've seen all of the original Dragon Ball Z as well as Dragon Ball, but with itself, there's a lot of really good continuity nods. And like, continuity to somebody like me is very important because, like, why do you think I'm doing this? Like, the narrative issues. Because, like, I'm not opposed to, like, narrative problems, but it has to be, the big narrative problems have to be spaced out enough for me to, like, by the time I forget about the last big narrative problem, the new one can come in. But if I'm still pissed off about the last big narrative problem, and then you introduce a new one, you're just digging the fucking hole deeper. So, yeah. Goku and 18 have a really genuinely heartwarming moment. And it damn near brought me to tears. Like, there's a lot of points in GT Season 2 that almost brought my emotionally dead ass to tears. Like, for those who don't know, I'm pretty emotionally dead. Like, I honestly don't feel that much emotion aside from rage and frustration. Like, I still try to act happy and all that, but honestly, I'm doing it out of habit. You know, like, most of the time, I'm bored as hell. So, the fact that it could get my emotionally dead ass to tear up at multiple points throughout Season 2, that's an achievement. And also, I should stress, I didn't grow up with GT. I remember seeing 1 or 2 episodes as a child, but that's it. I didn't really see GT until my late teens. So, like, maybe in the past 5 years is when I first saw it. So there's no nostalgic connections with this show. This is another good one that I really like. Elder Kai was listening to the Grand Tour rap, the English opening for Dragon Ball GT on a stereo thing, and that was great. It was almost like in Resurrection F, the movie when Krillin has the first opening theme for One Piece as his ringtone. Like, that's good shit. And to those who don't know what song I'm talking about for Elder Kai, it's like, oh, welcome to the Grand Tour, Grand Tour, Grand Tour. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. Although it was in Japanese, which makes me want to look up the Japanese version of that song. If I can find it, I'll probably put it in the link. Another good point is how Goku and Vegeta, when they're fighting Yi Jinglong, Omega Shenron, or Sin Shenron, I guess would be the name, it's Omega who they're fighting, but Goku brings up how pretty much recycles Vegeta's old lines from Dragon Ball Z. He's like, what? I wouldn't count on it, Dragon. Saiyans are the most powerful fighters in the universe, or something like that, and Vegeta's like, oh, just shut up with that stale old line, Kakarot. Like, that was fucking awesome. I got this. This is awesome. The part where Vegeta, like, Goku just basically sacrificed himself to save the Earth from the negative karma ball fired by Omega Shenron. He knocked Vegeta out of the way, and pretty much he is, as far as the other characters know, he's dead. Vegeta then takes it upon himself to distract Omega Shenron for as long as he can, and tells Trunks and everybody else to get off world, and tells Trunks, Goten, and Goten, and Gohan to train and someday defeat Omega if he is unable to do so. And there's the emotions there. It resonated with me so well, because like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super would not say shit like this. He would not talk like this. And like, but Vegeta, there's a very clear emotional growth that has gone since the beginning of his arc, which is helped by just a couple episodes before this. We get to see an episode where Vegeta has an inner monologue to himself, going over his own history for new viewers or those who may have forgotten, as kind of a recap. That's great shit. Honestly, like, Vegeta has a lot of really good moments. Like, Vegeta goes to face stuff alone, and Goten, Trunks, and like Gohan all go to help Vegeta, and like they know they're gonna fucking die, but they don't care. They would rather die fighting, defending their home, than run like cowards. And that's great. And even Chi-Chi, the one who's always like, no, Gohan, you cannot go save the fucking Earth. You need to go do your studies. And what the hell is up with my shirt? Whatever. Like, you need to go do your studies. She's encouraging them to go do this shit. And, like, that is great. It shows character growth. Character growth. And, like, in the Japanese version, when Vegeta still believes Goku is dead, and Vegeta is pretty much at death's door, he has, like, one shoulder completely fucked up. He pretty much thinks to himself, he begs, like, pretty much the ghost, like, kind of, like, oh, Goku's dead. It's like, please, Kakarot, give me the strength to put this guy down. And, like, and as he's charging at Omega, he's like, this one's for Kakarot. This is for Kakarot. Like, that is great. Like that's about it as far as, like, really good stuff that I wrote down. And it's like as far as, so, like, here's the verdict. Is Dragon Ball GT as bad as people say it is? No, it is by far one of the. It's not perfect. It really isn't. You can tell that it was rushed at certain points, because, like, the Super 17 arc is only like 4 episodes. It all fits on one disc, and each of these discs only hold 5 episodes. So, like, yeah, there's the Super 17 arc is rushed, but honestly, they focus on what they need to keep it, like, fast enough pace to, like, not make me go like, okay, come on, let's go to the next episode. Like, honestly, There's only a handful of episodes that even do that for me. And honestly, they're mostly in the first season where they're just like, okay, come on, you can sense energy. Your whole problem would be fixed if you just remembered you can sense energy. And Season 2 doesn't really have that problem. Season 2, I feel, is a lot better than the first season if it wasn't for the fact that the beginning 2 or 3 discs is dedicated to the end of the baby arc. So, honestly, GT, it has really consistent animation for the most part. There are a few times where the characters are not drawn as well as they are in other episodes, but you know what, in those times where they aren't drawn, they at least get the basics of Dragon Ball down. And like, the characters move well enough that I don't really mind it too much, although it is jarring seeing them drawn in a different style. Like, the characters are so good with how they are drawn, or with how they are written. Like, there's not a whole lot of slice of lifey episodes, but you don't need it for this show. Honestly, Dragon Ball GT is up there with the best of Dragon Ball, in my opinion. And I think most people just don't like it because of their own biases. I'm not gonna go too much on this topic, but one of my friends who I may be doing a collab with later talking about GT, he doesn't like Super Saiyan 4, for example, because it's not a Super Saiyan transformation. But it's very different from every other Super Saiyan form, and it's like, well, I have to keep pointing out to him, yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is not a Super Saiyan transformation. And he's like, oh, well, because of the name, it's hard to not think of it as a Super Saiyan form. And I'm like, okay, what about Super Saiyan God? What about Super Saiyan Blue? Super Saiyan Rosé? These are not... Okay, Super Saiyan Rosé kind of is, according to the according to the English... according to the anime continuity, but not according to the manga continuity. Super Saiyan God and Blue are not Super Saiyan forms. Super Saiyan God is achieved through a ritual, and it's just called Super Saiyan God. It is not a Super Saiyan form. Super Saiyan Blue is kind of a gray area because it's basically what happens when a Super Saiyan God goes Super Saiyan. So it's kind of a Super Saiyan form, but at the same time it kind of isn't. It's kind of a gray area. But yeah, that just shows the hypocrisy of a lot of Dragon Ball fans. And honestly, like I said in the first video, I put aside any personal feelings I may or may not have had with the show, and this was the first time I watched it with a critical eye, paying attention to every piece of dialogue, every frame, for like errors and problems and whatever. And honestly, even while doing that, it didn't really get boring for me. So yeah, next time if you're one of those Dragon Ball fans that just hate Dragon Ball GT, I encourage you to give it another shot, because honestly, it's a lot better than you think it is. Join me next time when I start tearing through Dragon Ball Super, which probably will take a while since my Funimation's still fucked. So yeah, like, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I opened your minds to a few things, and I'm gonna go lay down because it's past 4 in the morning and it's hot as shit in here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.